Hello, dear fashion bosses. How are you doing today? It's a pleasure to be on your face once again. So, in today's class, we're gonna be learning how to make this bobo. It is called a luxury bobo. Some other people call it rich auntie bobo. But whatsoever name you want to call it is well deserving. So, if this is what you like to learn how to make, please stay to the end of this class. Whilst at it, if you are a first timer on this channel, I want to say thank you so very much for stopping by. You are not here by mistake. On this channel, we upload sewing tutorials and edward tutorials. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for always stopping by. We appreciate your loyalty. Please do well to tap on the subscription button and then on the notification bell so you get notified each time we drop a new video. All right. So let's go straight to the business of the day. I use Micado and Sequence for this bubu, as you can see. All right. So we are about to start cutting. Okay. So I folded my bubu into four, like is a tradition, and then I how did I fold into four? My length times two, and then I fold again to give me four pieces. Okay, it's a regular tradition on this channel. So I'm going ahead right now to measure the neck circumference. I'm using a neck width of 3 inches and then a neck depth of about 5 inches. So the back neck is going to be is not going to be as deep as the front neckline. The back neckline, we are going to be using 2 inches for the depth and then 3 inches for the width. And then I come to this part, the shoulder parts of the bobo. I come down by 2 inches so I could connect my shoulder slope. So I'm connecting from this 2 inches where I mark right now on the on this area, and then I'm going to connect it straight to the neck line. Okay, this is to make our bobo relax properly. All right, so the next thing for us to do right now is to measure our sleeve length. Okay, so I measure from the center of my back to my elbow. That is where I want the sleeve length to get to. So I place my tape rule and then I mark down what I got from measuring from my center back to my elbow area. Okay, that is what I'm doing right now. All right. So whatsoever you got from yours, when you place your tape rule on your center back to wherever you want your sleeve to get to, you chuck it down. And then from this point, the shoulder line, I am going to measure 10 inches. That is how wide I want the sleeve to be. Just confirming my line, and then I'm going to connect. Please kindly note that the sleeve is going to have elastic, around the arm area. Okay, so I didn't actually use 10, I used 12 so that I will have some fabrics to play with when I'm imputing my elastic. Okay, so I used 12 inches. So I came down and I measured my bust points. I measured it and then I divided my hip into four and then I impute it. This part I'm measuring right now is my waistline. It's not very important, but I'm just chalking it because I'm going to put a pocket. So you come down by 1 inch, okay, from your waistline to get your pockets. So I measure my hip line divided by 4 and then I'll go ahead to add 5 inches seam allowance. Okay, and then I connect from the length line right now to my hip line with a straight row. There are no paparazzis about this. Okay, you just measure your hip line. Whatever you have on your hip line is the same thing you're going to impute on your bust line, and or it's just a straight bubble. And then you go ahead to add between 5 to 7 inches seam allowance, for ease. Okay, and then I connect from my sleeve line into the bubble line with a curve, so that I have that free curve for my armhole kinda. Okay, so guys, we are almost done with this bubble. I come to the length of the bubble and then I mark my straight line for accuracy. Okay, this is the length of the bubble. Okay, it's quite lengthy. It's about 60 something. So I'm folding it up right now so I could measure my back neckline. I've not imputed my back neckline, but I already told you guys what I needed for it. It's 2 inches down, okay, for the depth, and then of course the width is the regular 3 inches. I don't want it to be too wide. Okay, that's what I did for the back neckline. So I'm just connecting the back neckline right now with a curve. Okay, and after this, guys, we are done with drafting of this bubble. The next thing for us to do right now is to cut it out. Okay, just go ahead and cut it out. All right, it's not difficult, it's not difficult, very easy to replicate, quite easy to replicate. So if you've watched this tutorial video up to this point, it means you're finding value. Please do well to like, share, and give a thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe. After subscribing, tap on the bell. The bell enables you to get notification each time we drop videos, which of course we always do. I said earlier that on this channel we upload sewing tutorials and then headwear tutorials such as auto gele turban, fascinators, headband, and every accessory you can use to adorn your hair. Okay, so we are done cutting out this bubble. As you can see, just taking off the piece that we do not require. I couldn't draft this bubble on my table because the bubble is bigger and longer than my table, so I had to do it on the floor, guys. So I'm going ahead right now to cut the back neckline first. Okay, and then cutting out the shoulder slopey area that we don't require. Okay, so that is what I'm doing right now. After doing this, I'm going to pull in or pull out the inner part, which happens to be the back panel, to enable me cut out the front neckline, like you can see me do right now. So guys, we are done with the process. The next thing for us to do is open up this bubble, and then we start stitching. This is what we have. Do not forget, I said we use the Micado fabric for this project. I love the firmness of Micado, right? So the next thing for you to do right now is to start stitching. Okay, so I just want to arrange it properly so you could see what it looks like. Okay, so do not forget to like, share, give a thumbs up, and then subscribe. So you take it to your sewing machine and stitch from the neck down to the sleeve, and then you do the same to this part that I'm showing you right now. After doing that, guys, you give it very good pressing or ironing to that seam. So this is the what do you call it, sequence fabric I'm going to be using. I've infused fusible interface on the inner part of it to get a bit of stability. You know how it is with the stretchy fabric. So I fold my sequence into two, and then I place my already cut out bubble on it. So at this point, we want to cut the facing, that is the design, you know, that is in front of the bubble. So I place it into two, and then I go ahead to pin it down. So I'm going to measure. Please kindly know that the length of your sequence or the fabric you are using, note that you need a fabric that is as long as where your belly button is. Okay, because that is the length of the area where the facing is going to get to. All right, I'm also sorry this part is not showing properly, but I'm just trying to, you know, chop off the neck area. You know, you can see me, I just, you know, cut out the neck area from the sequence fabric. Okay, I use the bubble to cut out the neck area. This isn't difficult at all. And then I'm going to measure from the neck line. I measure 5 inches. Okay, 5 inches, because it's going to get to my shoulder. Don't forget, my shoulder is 8 inches. We've cut out 3 inches for the neck width. The remaining 5 inches is what I just measured out, and then I cut out that part that we do not require. Okay, so from the neck, the shoulder line, I am going to measure. I unpin to mark where the 5 inches is on the sequence fabric, because I have to take off the bubble so we can continue with the sequence fabric. Okay, please, if you have any question, kindly ask. Okay, so I measure from the shoulder right now to the point where I want the facing, which is the design right now, to get to, and is on my belly button. So wherever your belly button is where this should get to. Okay, and then on this down part I measured 4 inches. So I use my nipple to nipple measurements divided by 4. Okay, is 8 inches. I divided it by 4, and then I divided it by 2 rather, and then I impute it there, which is 4. And then I connect from the shoulder line down to that 4 inches, like you can see me do right now. It's going to give us a kind of slanty, a bit of slanty connection. Okay, that's what I'm doing right now. So after doing this, I'm going to trim off. As you can see, the marking is not straight, is kind of slanty. So I'm going to cut out the part of the sequence fabric that we do not require. Okay, so like I said earlier, if there is any part of this video you do not understand, please kindly drop your questions and I'm going to attend to it. Whilst I say, do not also forget to subscribe if you have not yet. Like this video, share it, and give it a thumbs up. Your thumbs up makes it to go viral for other people to see. I mean people who actually need explicit tutorial. So I open up the front piece of my bubu, and then I place my sequence facing fabric on it. As you can see me do, you see what is looking is well drafted, looking very beautiful, you know, and well aligned on the front space of the bubu. So the next thing for us to do right now is to cut the back facing of the back panel. Hope you understand that. So this is the piece that we are going to use for the back design, the facing and all of that. The same thing we did for the front is what we are going to do for the back. The difference is that the back is not as lengthy as the front. That is the difference. And another difference is that the back has an opening, okay, for birthing. That is it. Yes, an opening for button. So I just fold the sequence into 2 like you seen me doing, and then I will measure 4 inches from the neck depth line. I'll measure 4 inches. We are going to slat that for our opening. Okay, and then I come to the neckline and also measure 5 inches like we did for the front panel. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to do right now is to cut out the neckline for the back, like you can see me do right now. I just cut the neckline for the back on the sequenced fabric. Okay, and then I shape it properly. I come to the neckline right now, and then I'm going to slant it open up to the point where we measured 4 inches. Okay, that's going to be the opening for easy wearing. Okay, and then I'll do the same for the sequence fabric. So once I'm done with this, I'm going to pull out the bubu and then continue with the sequence fabric. So from the point where we have the slant line, I'll measure 5 inches downward. You can use between 4 or 5 inches, and then I connect from the shoulders down to the 4 or 5 inches, okay, with a curve, like you can see me do, like as though you are trying to get a circle. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead right now to trim off the parts we do not require so we could get our facing. Okay, all right, so here we are. We've trimmed the parts we do not require, and then we have our facing. I'm opening it. You see what it looks like? It's looking well and very beautiful. So I bring back my back piece, okay, and I place the facing on it. You can see it's looking very, very beautiful. Do not forget to infuse a fusible interfacing on your sequence fabric because it is stretchy and tricky. Okay, so you need to infuse so you get a bit of stability. So I bring back the front panel of the sequence piece. I place the back and the front, and then I'm going to stitch on the shoulders. Okay, stitching on the shoulders, stitch on the other side, because we are going to be using this right now to do a turning for the bubu. So do not forget that we've stitched the we are going to stitch. I said you should stitch the shoulders of your bubu. So I'm going to go ahead right now to do that. So I stitch both shoulders, all right? I stitch both shoulders. I can see me show you, and then I'm going to bring it back. So once I'm done stitching, I've brought it back, okay? You go ahead to iron that same area, okay? Iron it properly, okay? At the point I was doing it, there was no light, so I'm trying to use my hand to straighten it. All right, so but if you have power, as at the time you're going to be doing yours, please make sure you give a proper ironing. So I just place it this way, and then I open it up properly, or I spread it out properly, okay? And then I bring back my sequence piece, okay? I place it this way, okay? I place it this way. The back parts of the bubu should be facing the front part of the sequence, because you are going to turn it into the right part of the bubu. Okay, so I just go ahead and I pin the neckline all around. Please make sure that all seam areas are meeting with all seam areas for accuracy. Hope you understand what that means. That the shoulder line of the sequence fabric is well touching and meeting and properly aligning with the shoulder parts of the yellow bubu piece. Okay, so I go ahead and then I pin the neckline all around for stability. All right, so after pinning, I'm going to take it to my sewing machine, and then I'll start stitching from the slanted part of the back piece roundabout. It take me back to the slanted parts of the back piece. I sew into the opening parts, come back up, and then we've completed that circle. Once you're done with the circle, please do well to notch properly, okay? So that when you turn, is well relaxed. Hope you understand what that means. Yes, I believe you do. So once I'm done sewing, I'm gonna notch. If possible, if you can, please iron it a little, okay? So that it's properly relaxed. So I'm gonna turn, take off my pin once I'm done sewing before turning. So I've turned. This is what we have. This is the front piece. See, is looking well placed, well positioned, well sewn, properly aligned, and then it's looking beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead to fold the hem of the sequence, okay, and then I'll stitch on it like you can see me illustrate to you right about now. So I fold both sides inwardly, I'll stitch, okay, and then I'm going to come to the bottom part. Yes, you fold properly. If you're not getting it, keep doing it. Come to the bottom part and then fold it in, and then you stitch on it. You can use your hemming glue to hold it down to your fabric. Peradventure is giving you some challenges, okay? So after doing the front, I'm going to turn it over to the back side, and then I am also going to fold in the hem of the back piece like you can see me illustrate, and then I stitch on it, neatly stitch, neatly folded, and neatly stitch. You make sure that everything is properly aligned, okay? That's what we are gonna do. So once we're done stitching the sequence to the bubu, we are going to come over to the sleeve area. So I have the space also, okay? So I place it this way, the front parts of the bubu, I place it this way, okay? The wrong part of the bubu meeting with the right part of the sequence, and then I'm going to pin, because we're going to flip the sequence over to the right part of the bubu and then stitch. Hope you understand. Yes, I believe you do. But peradventure you do not understand, please do well to ask your question. You know I care about you, right? Yes, do well to ask your question. It's always a delight for me each time you guys understand, this tutorials. So I stitch on it, and then I flip over to this part. You can see me right now. I fold it in, okay, and then I'm going to stitch on the sequence to hold the sequence down to the bubble properly. Okay, you can do well to pin if the fabric is giving you some headache and tough time and some challenges. Please do well to pin, pin, okay, before taking to your sewing machine to stitch. All right, okay, so I'm just trying to pin. Okay, after pinning, I'm gonna take it to my sewing machine and then I'm gonna stitch. All right, so I'll do the same to the other parts of the sleeve. All right, so once we are done with the sleeve, okay, so adding the sequence fabric to the sleeve is optional. Okay, you can choose not to add to. So I actually changed my mind from adding elastic to the sleeve into using the sequence for the sleeve. Okay, so you bring your bubble this way and then you stitch on the side. Okay, after stitching on the side, you fold the bottom properly, you double fold the bottom, or however you find it, however it pleases you, and then you stitch. Once you are done with this, you are done with the bubble, guys. So this is the final look of the bubble. I know I've already showed you, this before on the foot edge. Okay, but this is what the bubble look like on the mannequin. Thank you for staying to the end of this class. See you guys in the next video. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, you can do well to drop a tutorial that you think we should make for you on the comment section. Okay, and then you will get a tutorial video. Okay, so this is what the bubble looks like. Thank you for staying tuned. This is the pocket. All right, you see what it's looking like, all blinky and very beautiful. No wonder they call it Luxury Bubu or Big Auntie Bubu. All right, guys, see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.